Collecting portfolios, investing portfolios, that's what we're gonna discuss on today's video. It was a viewer that sent me through a video idea, and I love it when viewers send me through video ideas. It's the whole purpose of this channel. If I'm not making content that resonates with you, guys and girls that are watching, like, what's the point? I'm not just spreading an opinion of mine that only I want to listen to. Like, we're talking to the community here, so to speak. So I love it when you guys and girls send me videos. It gives me ideas. And if multiple people are sending me the same video idea, then of course it makes sense. It means that it's a topic that the audience wants to listen to. So in today's video, I am looking over some of your Collectr portfolios. Collectr, of course, is today's video sponsor, and it is an app where you can put in all your sealed and singles inside there, and it'll show you total value. Now, I have some interesting takes on collecting. So just to talk you through the video really quickly, I'm going to run through 4 portfolios with you, starting from the smallest, I guess, through to one of the biggest that was sent through. I'm going to keep dollar values off the screen for total collection value. That's it's really, I suppose, private information. I don't think some people would like me to share what their total value is. That's what we're going to look at. I'm going to give you some advice on your Collectr portfolios. So thank you to everyone that sent them through. I mentioned in the last video that I will be doing this video, and so many of you guys and girls sent through your Collectr portfolios. It was insane. I had a look at a fair few, and of course, I'd love to share them all, but it's impossible. There's so many there to look at. So I've just picked 4 at, I guess, what we'd say is different stages almost, so we can look through those. Now, let's talk about collecting for a little bit. It's really interesting, isn't it? Because of course, this whole video is about investing, and this whole channel is about investing in Pokemon cards, and I will be ranking them, I guess, or passing on feedback in terms of how investable or how strong an investment portfolio that these Collectr apps are, these Collectr app portfolios are. But, when I think about investing, or when I think about collecting, and, that is the name of the app, Collectr. Like, it is about putting your collection in there. And of course, from this side of the channel, it's about putting your investment in there as well. But, I think about collecting, and it's really interesting because you'll never actually achieve what you want to achieve. You live in this really weird domain as a collector. It's that you want more and more. There's always another card that you want. There's always another sealed product that you want. And you literally never catch them all. It's impossible. So you're stuck in this never-ending, I suppose, building cycle of building a collection. And it's really interesting. One of the more interesting things in life, and hate or love this channel, I quite enjoy listening to it, Modern Wisdom. I do get some takeaways. That's a podcast with Chris Williamson, in case you haven't seen it. I get some good takeaways from this channel or this podcast, and one of the ones I remember him saying was, and I don't know if it was his quote or someone else's quote, but I do remember writing it down, and look, this might be paraphrased a little bit, is, it's when you do something or achieve something that you said would make you happy, and you get there and you realize it doesn't. And that's a real big kick in the guts, isn't it? It's a real interesting feeling. And it's the same with collecting. You say to yourself, I'm going to save up and buy myself that Team Up booster box. And then you have it and you're like, okay, that's really nice to have as part of my collection, but it hasn't really made me as happy as I thought it would. Like, what's the next goal? What's the next product I want? I want a PSA 10 Gold Star. You get it. What's the next one? I want the whole PSA 10 Gold Star collection. And it's like, what I'm getting at is that collecting journey never ends. So let's jump into the video. Let's look at number 1 on the list. Jeremy's portfolio here. This probably goes for 45 seconds or so, this little screen clip on here. So as you can see, there's sitting at the top list as the most expensive part of Jeremy's portfolio is Phantasmal Flames Charizard. There are a fair few modern Charizards on this list. There are also a few trainer galleries. There's also some Scarlet and Violet promos. And I look at this list and I go, okay, from my point of view, this is just an outsider looking in. So no one take any of my commentary to heart. This is all constructive, and I appreciate everyone that's getting into collecting, investing. But I look at this and I go, I reckon Jeremy's been in the hobby maybe since Stellar Crown era, Surging Sparks era, sort of like mid Scarlet and Violet onwards. So that just shows with the singles that are on here. And I'm sure, Jeremy, that Phantasmal Flames Charizard is the crown jewel of your collection, which is awesome to see. If I had any advice here, the first thing from a singles side, it would be great to maybe diversify into some vintage singles as well. It would be great to probably diversify into some slabs, and I always recommend PSA 10 slabs. And look, sometimes people can't afford that, but you know, they are just the best for collecting or investing. Anything graded a 10 rather than a 9. And then moreover than that, you know, I love investing in sealed products on this channel. So my biggest tip here, if it's purely from an investing standpoint, this is the lens I'm looking at these portfolios with, is from purely an investment standpoint. I would well and truly invest in some sealed product. And you know what? I think I ranked them quite comfortably as booster box cases being number 1, sealed booster boxes being number 2, Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box cases being number 3, Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Boxes being number 4, and down the list we go to some other products like regular Elite Trainer Boxes. Sometimes there's some really nice collection boxes. There are really good ultra premium collections. There's some not so ultra and not so premium collections out there, but you get the gist. I would really like to see some sealed product on there, Jeremy. And I think, you know, maybe for you, maybe you're just a collector at heart of singles, and it's going to be really hard to keep anything sealed inside your portfolio without getting that itch to rip it open. Let's jump into the second one. And this was actually the gentleman that sent me through the idea of the video. So I thought it would be only fair to have a look at his collection, and that is Sander. There's some really, really nice products inside this collection. As you can see, we're starting to step up. So, and look, some of these collections far outweigh mine, that's for sure. And that's the journey that I talk about. You know, we're all on this journey of collecting. It's almost like a video game, isn't it? You think of a video game and it's like, you know, once you get there, you level up, then you finish the game and you go, well, hold on, this isn't that fun anymore. Like, I can beat any enemy if I wander around the map and the game's over. Like, you realize the fun is the journey. The fun is not the destination. So everyone's on a different journey, and that's the whole fun of it. But back to Sander's collection here, you can see there's things like 151 UPCs, there's the Sword and Shield Charizard UPC, there's 11 Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer Boxes, which I really like. There's things like Celebrations, Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Boxes, Hidden Fates Elite Trainer Boxes. There's some really nice singles on here as well. Like, I love the Mewtwo and Mew GX. I loved the Gold Zard from Celebrations, which you get in the UPC, and the Pikachu on there. So, and also one of my favorite cards is the Chilling Reign Moltres. I got a bit of a soft spot for that single. I think that's a beautiful artwork. I think it's undervalued. Well, I don't know. Is it undervalued? Maybe. I think it deserves more credit. It's a brilliant looking card, and I would love to see it be right up there with the Blaziken as the two, I suppose, on par price points for Chilling Reign. So all in all, I look at your collection, Sander, and I think, mate, it's awesome. Like, the singles inside there are absolutely phenomenal. I don't think, you know, there's no weak singles inside there. Every single that you seem to be targeting from an investing standpoint is a strong card. You know, they're very liquid, very easy to sell. And that's the other thing from an investing standpoint that you've got to remember is, you know, to make any profit off them, they don't pay you dividends. Like, it's not like having shares that will pay you, you know, quarterly or yearly dividends. It's, you've got to sell them for more than what you paid for them to make a profit. So you do need your products to be liquid. That's really, really important. The sealed products inside here, same thing, really, really liquid sealed products. Prismatic Evolutions Elite Trainer Boxes are always going to be sought after. Hidden Fates Elite Trainer Boxes are sought after. Things like 151 and Sword and Shield UPCs will always be sought after. So very, very liquid collection here, and I really like it. If there's any tips whatsoever, I guess the one bit of advice from me is if we could add some booster boxes in there, mate, that would be really awesome, whether that's a case or just individual booster boxes. I love to just grab a booster box of every single new set that comes out. You never know what they're going to do, and obviously invest heavily. I invest a bit more heavily into the ones that I think are going to perform better. So long story short, great collection. I just add some booster boxes into it. The next one that came through, and again, you can see the value sort of starting to tick up here, is Joe Max Pax I believe he has a YouTube channel as well, from what I can see in his little collector logo. I'm sorry I haven't had the time to look at it, but from what I can see here, your investment portfolio is absolutely phenomenal. If we have a look through it, you can see things like a Fusion Strike booster box case. There's 151 Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box cases. There's Paldean Fates cases. There's Evolving Skies booster boxes. There's Ascended Heroes cases. There's Celebration UPCs. There's even some Sword and Shield booster boxes on here. Things like 3 times Lost Origin booster boxes, 3 times Brilliant Stars booster boxes. It is a really, really solid collection. Very, very strong. Very strong. Lots of nice sealed products on there. Hard to pick a fault in this, to be honest. It's a very, very strong set there. And what you'll see, I think, from Joe here, and look, you could almost put myself in the same category, because it wasn't really until, and this is only me clutching at straws here because I haven't looked at Max Pack's story or looked, at any of the Instagram or anything to see his story, but a lot of people came back into the hobby in 2020 during that COVID time. A lot of people have been in it from Sword and Shield onwards, and looking at all the sealed products that you've got there, that seems to ring true. I started keeping them sealed a little bit earlier than that, back in 2019, with some of the Sun and Moon booster boxes like Cosmic Eclipse and Unbroken Bonds, but a lot of people are in a similar boat to that, where it's sort of Sword and Shield onwards. Personally, that's one of my investment goals, is to diversify a little bit deeper with sealed product, and that's the only hole, and I'm almost putting myself on the same sort of page here as Joe from Max Packs, is that, it's hard to bring yourself to diversify sometimes into the older booster boxes because they're just so damn expensive. It feels like it makes sense to buy 10 of a modern booster box rather than 1 of an older booster box. But I would love to pull the trigger personally on some slightly older booster boxes. I'd love to get some XY booster boxes. I'd love to even get some black and white booster boxes. But, as more and more time goes by, those booster boxes just seem more and more unattainable due to their price point. But phenomenal collection, mate. Very, very hard to pick any faults in that whatsoever. And talking about very, very hard to pick faults in, is Roy, the final one on the list here. I guess going back to Max Packs, the singles, is there any graded singles on there? But moving ahead to Roy, this is our final one that we wanted to look at. This is stacked. This is an absolutely stacked collection. There is a lot of value here, a lot of value. And again, I'm not mentioning the values because I don't think it's the right thing to do due to sort of privacy side of things. But Evolving Skies case, they are starting to pick up some serious momentum, and their momentum will only continue. There'll be very few Evolving Skies cases on the market at any given time, and even fewer in existence as time goes by, so those will be worth a lot. Some really nice older cards here, things like Gold Star Charizard, Gold Star Mewtwo. I have a real soft spot for Gold Stars because it was around, I suppose, the age when I could start using platforms like eBay to sell when I was 18. I was selling the EX era. I was ripping multiple booster boxes, pulling the occasional Gold Star, which was very, very hard to pull, and selling a lot online. And I have a real soft spot for the EX era. I have a real soft spot for Gold Stars, so I love to see them on there. You're obviously a bit of a Rayquaza fan. There's a few really nice Rayquazas on here from Evolving Skies and other sets. Celebrations UPC case. There's 10 individual Evolving Skies booster boxes, so not only do you have a case of it, there's 10 individual ones. There's EV Heroes on here, so you've diversified into some Japanese. There's things like the Plasma Storm Charizard, which is one of my personal favorite Charizards. There's 7 Fusion Strike booster boxes. This is really hard. This is almost, top tier, I guess you'd say. The value behind this whole collection is absolutely phenomenal. The sealed product, not only do we have cases on there, we have individual booster boxes, we have some level of diversification into some of the strong Japanese sets like EV Heroes and Blue Sky Stream, which make up the English Evolving Skies. There's also some, really nice vintage and modern chase cards inside here. It is Very, very difficult to pick any faults in this, mate, and your collection far outweighs the value of mine. So I don't want to be someone that would throw rocks inside a glass house and pick any faults there. So there you have it. I guess to round off this whole video, once again, thank you to everyone that's shot through their collections. I did look through as many as I possibly could, and I sort of wanted to pick out a few from different tiers throughout the journey. And that's what I wanted to finish the video off on saying, is that, you know, it is about the journey, not the destination. So just remember that quote, like, you almost never get there, do you? You're living in this really weird space between what you had and what you don't have, and it's this constant journey towards it. And that's the part you got to remember. You got to remember to have fun along the way. You got to remember to enjoy the little wins along the way. Enjoy, you know, maybe you get a bonus at work and it allows you to buy that PSA 10 chase card that you've always wanted. It allows you to buy that booster box that you've always wanted. Heaps and heaps of good takeaways that you can have there. So again, thanks everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Your support means a lot, and I'll catch everyone next time.